Have you heard of this? Okay, the fourth turning, guys.
Fourth turning, no.
It's kind of the idea of economic cycles, you know, and there's 4 seasons, just like, you know, a regular season in life. Economic seasons happen as well, and like you know, that's why, like, politics, as much as like I get into it, sometimes they're so meaningless.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
because, like, you know, whether you're left, right, orange, white, doesn't matter, because the cycles always repeat, and we're naturally, like, tuned in this way to life. Just works this way, kind of thing. So
What repeats itself?
cycles of economics or politics as well, you know. And so we're in the fourth turning as we speak right now. And actually,
what does that mean, the fourth turn?
So it's a book that was written by Neil Howe, and he compares economic seasons, you know, and right now we're in the fourth, because it's like a winter, okay? And so I'll give you a little heads up here what it says. So they roughly, it's about 80 to 100 years normally, the whole cycle. And
Then it repeats
each
itself.
season is 20 to 25 years. So let's say the beginning of it was, let's say, World War II. That was the beginning. And, you know, you can see that people were much more modest. They were much more like, okay, you know, they've been through war pretty much. And whatever it takes, they're going to do it.
Post-World War II.
Yes, post-World War II. After the war, people are more like, they're ready to be humbled, and they're ready, like, you know, follow leadership, and they you know, make things happen pretty much.
They're ready to buy a house, make babies, a lot of babies.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, and they're much less, they're selfless, you know, more selfless. Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. If you're loving this content, hit the like button and subscribe and join to our awesome community. Ring that notification bell so you'll never miss a beat. Together, we're building something so special. Let's grow this channel, and let's have some fun along the way. For some more content, check out these other fantastic channels. You got Checkin Habs, one-stop shop for all those things. Habs, sports, you know, we got so much information on sports, guys. Come on. Hello. And Checkin Reports, stay informed of the latest political news and current events. Hello. So that's it, fam. Come and check us out. And then, you know, the second season, which would be, like, say, spring or something. Would that be spring? No, it would be like summer.
Spring.
And this is like 60s, 70s, around there. This is what, you know, Neil Howe is pretty much comparing this last cycle to. And, you know, the people were more, you know, okay, they're kind of fed up of being modest, and, like, they're more curious, you know, and they're more interested in, like, some, you know, adventure and stuff. So that's what you saw in the 60s and 70s. People were doing drugs. They were, you know, they're having sex with whoever, you know, like, it was a little bit wild.
Or whatever.
Or whatever. And yeah, so that was interesting. And then afterwards, the third season was a little more selfish, you know.
The greedy 80s.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, the 80s was very me, right?
Yes,
yeah.
it is, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, and people were much more like, okay, there's more protests. They're like, you know, and that's supposed to have lasted to 2008, this whole cycle, the third cycle, and the first cycle from.
And is that the last cycle you're saying?
Well, until the next season comes around, until the next, you know, economic cycle, you know. But the last one is much more intense. Well, I wanted to show you guys a video, but, you know, I don't know if
Put it.
guys, yeah?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, let's go. I sent it to you by email.
What's the fourth cycle?
The fourth cycle?
It's the age of Aquarius. I think.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
It's the fourth ring, you know, so it's the fourth ring. So this is Neil Howe. He's the writer of the book.
So we're not quite halfway.
And notice that he this is when he spoke was 4 years ago. And this video is 4 years old, and he's explaining what the fourth turning is, you know. And it's, for me, I love cycles, you know, like economic cycles. You start seeing, okay,
You can forecast what's coming or what's.
Yeah, you try and forecast, and it's a little harder because in a macro version, you know, it's hard to time everything properly, but it's coming out pretty true.
Will it really make a difference on the market in regards to what he's explaining about how the economic system is in regards to the way
Listen, at the end of the day, what's the end of the fourth turning most of the time? You know, if you look at it, if it was World War II, right? That was the beginning of that, the end of that, you know, of that cycle. The last cycle in the 1940s. And then we started over where there was peace and prosperity pretty much, and that's how the world moved.
So I
expect this fourth turning to end up like, as you can see, there's plenty of war and rumors of war and plenty of animosity between countries.
Do they know? Is he saying he knows what each cycle is going to bring, or is we have to see?
It's a general. You can't.
It's not like weather then.
It's not weather. Well, no, it's you know, you can see the clouds. You just don't know what type of rain.
You can see what's eventually forecasting. What's evolving, but you know what's gonna.
Listen, you listen to for yourself. You'll see. Go ahead.
Whoever's watching, you can hit us up on Discord if you join the conversation.
So we're not quite halfway through yet. Well, this is all part of a pattern, and it's a pattern that's gone back centuries in Anglo-American history. I think it frankly characterizes the history of many countries around the world today. Like nature's four seasons, the cycles of history follow a natural rhythm or pattern. Over the last 5 centuries, Anglo-American society has entered a new era, a new turning every 2 decades or so. At the start of each turning, people change how they feel about themselves, the culture, the nation, and the future. Turnings come in cycles of 4. Each cycle spans the length of a long human life, roughly 80 to 100 years, or the unit of time the ancients called the saeculum. The first turning is called a high. This is an era when institutions are strong and individualism is weak. Society is confident about where it wants to go collectively, even if those outside the majoritarian center feel stifled by the conformity. America's most recent first turning was the post-World War II American high, beginning in 1946 and ending with the assassination of John Kennedy in 1963. The second turning is an awakening. This is an era when institutions are attacked in the name of personal and spiritual autonomy. Just when society is reaching its high tide of public progress, people suddenly tire of social discipline and want to recapture a sense of inner authenticity. Young activists and spiritualists look back at the previous high.
Are we planning to watch the whole video?
Yeah, I don't mind.
We should,
yeah, we should break it up.
so we should break it up so we're just not sitting here watching the video.
Sure.
So
this is like, so far you understand the concept pretty much?
So every generation kind of evolves into the next thing, basically, right? So
the evolution of like the psyche of the world, of the mentality of everybody changes after, like, as you can see, like they're the culture of poverty, you know, like, so like they're fed up with that, you know, like, you know, it's like our parents were, like, say, I'm second generation, but they were like still old school kind of people, you know. You could tell my parents were so old school, you know, like, okay, we should grow up kind of thing, you know, we should have a little more abundance and stuff. And now our kids, they're such generations ahead of us in their mentality. So it's the same thing, but on a grand economic scale, you know, and that's the whole idea that he presented in books, and 4 cycles that keep on repeating themselves
per life cycle. It's not only economically, like character,
the psyche. Absolutely, it's a psyche.
Put the mic closer.
Yeah.
So okay, so he's talking about these 4 cycles, but are these cycles happen before these 4 cycles and before that?
Of course, it repeats itself.
He says they, from what I understood, they span a person's life cycle. So, like us,
every 80 to 100 years, this 4 cycle happens. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah.